My
Yeah.
guest today is Indie Nelson, aka LitebrightIndie from Twitch. You can catch her at 2 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time on
Mm-hmm.
Saturdays and Sundays. And I
Yes.
suggest getting involved because her community is super cool. And we're going to talk all about Twitch and streaming and all those good things and have a little fun along the way. So,
Yes.
Indie, welcome to the pod.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So you're my mentor. Unbeknownst to you, I've actually kind of like integrated you into my mentorship group of people that I look up to. And we met on deployment back in 2019.
Yeah, we did.
And that was the struggle bus.
Oh my God.
Not
That
one
was
that
the hardest of the hardest times. Probably one of the hardest ones I've ever been on, actually.
Same here. Same here.
Uh-huh.
And I don't wish it upon anybody else in the world, no matter
Mm-mm.
who they are, where they're from, or just even in our line of work.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm used to 9-month deployments. 10 months, that extra month there.
I've never done one past 7.
Oh,
So
really?
that was rough for me. And I've done a few. And I've never done past 7. I was just like, what is
Girl,
this?
that was my third one. That was my
Oof.
third ride.
Gross.
Mm-hmm. That was my third ride. And my first one was supposed to be a around the world tour. It wasn't.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Right.
Same.
And
got lied to.
Got lied to about a lot of things within my first ride. Because it's a maiden voyage. I was on the George W. Bush.
You're lying.
Yeah, CVN 77, 2011, the maiden deployment.
We weren't on the same boat together.
We were on the same boat together.
Oh my God.
We didn't know each other.
We didn't even know.
No. I was too busy.
Too.
Because like for the first 3 months, I was down scullering.
Oh, wow.
And then the last like few months of the deployment, I was up on the line shack.
Yeah, I didn't leave my hole very much. We did what's that thing called? Hotel services.
Yep.
They had me in hotel services for like a year. And then after that,
you were ship's company.
I was ship's company. Mm-hmm. I was ship's company because I was an air traffic controller.
You were nowhere.
Not even close.
Not even close to my world. No.
Not until I converted. No. So yeah, that was a whole different struggle bus.
Yeah. Remember, it was supposed to be a around the world cruise. It wasn't that. Then they said that they were going to do the what's it, the equator thing, the shellbacks.
We were supposed to go down and do the shellbacks and all that other stuff.
That didn't happen.
No.
And then they said, and then here's the best part. They said, oh well, for some of you who make it on the next deployment, this guy, back in 2013, 2014, they said, yeah, we'll front you on that one over there. We'll get you guys your shellback on that one. Never happened.
That didn't happen. Mm-mm.
Did not happen.
Because y'all didn't even go that far down south. Because you guys were like in like Greece and like Turkey and places like that. And I was like, no, they didn't go. But I was in Hawaii while y'all were on deployment. So I was gone.
Girl, you missed out on that deployment because when we hit Turkey, a lot of us, Istanbul had a riot when we got there. Like the day that we showed up, like that same day, there was a riot that popped off in Istanbul, which was like, Istanbul's over here, we're over here. Because this happened, the whole country went crazy. Yep. And so we're there at a bar drinking, and everyone got pushed into the back room of this bar, and the bartender in his broken English was telling us to just chill out because he knew we were like American English. Yeah, he knew that we were American. And he said, no, just hang here. And we're thinking, no, we need to get back to the ship. Yep. Because we're green. We don't know any better. But what we do know is when things go crazy,
we have to go back to the boat.
Yeah,
gotta get back to the boat. Yep.
So we went out to the streets, and there's rioters, and there's policemen, and there's tear gas. And lo and behold, instead of getting mixed into the rally of it all, we go back to the building, which was like this tall building with a underground parking spot that had an entrance and an exit on either side. And so the buses ran in, they picked people up, and then scurried out and went back to the ship.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Yo, unfortunately for us, that hold down there and that lower level of that parking lot or that parking spot where like the road is above ground, guess what rolled down there? Tear gas.
All the tear gas?
All the tear gas came rolling down into the parking spot. So as buses are coming in, picking people up and leaving, we're all like just not able to see, not able to breathe, like, you know, just struggling. And then like the audacity, we had to sit and wait for a tugboat to ship us from the coast.
Because you guys weren't moored pierside.
Because we weren't moored to pierside. So we had to sit and wait for that.
With tear gas on your face. That sounds pretty, you know what? Checks the chart.
That about paces out, right?
That sounds about right. Pretty much fucking checks. That's wow.
And that was just the beginning of our deployment.
I was gonna say, wasn't that one of your like first ports?
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what? Why don't we let's just go back home. Let's go back. Let's reset and then try it again because this is clearly not when we're supposed to be out here right now. Let's try it again.
And the worst part behind that is like we were the first to port in Oman when there was nothing there.
I'm so sorry.
There was nothing there but desert.
I am so sorry.
Nothing there but dirt.
We did Dukem right after you guys, and Jesus Christ.
Every single time I hit Dukem, I was like, why?
They did that to us too. And we actually like, between you guys and us, we like built that city. Because now there's like a small city there. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's insane. Because every time we went back there, there was like more stuff there. And I was like, how did they do this in like 2 weeks?
With our money. That's why. That's how.
It's like,
that's how that fucking happened.
This stuff. That's crazy.
Because it started off with a tent that clearly came from the ship, and then a stupid Pizza Hut out of a stupid van, like a double-decker van. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep. They were serving beers out of the back of another van.
They would rather have the pizza than the stupid food that came off the stupid ship that was churched up for the one night we were there.
Yep. And then we had to buy tickets for like beers, and you could only buy like 3 tickets at a time. It was ridiculous.
It was a whole thing. Yep. Controlled freaking chaos. If anything. So what got you into Twitch and streaming and everything?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So
where's the beginnings for the LitebrightIndie here?
Completely random, right? Yeah. So one night, when I was back in Virginia, I was sitting there and I was on my phone and I was doing like Instagram, not live, but like I was FaceTiming one of my friends in like Instagram. And I'm sitting there and I'm playing the game. I was playing Final Fantasy 14 of all things. And I'm sitting there, I'm talking to my friends, and my friend was like, man, I really wish I could see like what you're doing right now, because the sounds that I'm hearing in the background sound crazy. Yeah. And it was Shay. Shay was the first person that was the person I was talking to, right?
Yes.
So I was like, man, I was like, how do I even do that? And she was like, I know there are some people that like do kind of stuff like that. So I'm sure there's like stuff on the internet to do it. So she helped me research it on how you could share like your games and stuff with people. So I learned how to do that. And then that's when I learned about Twitch, and Twitch being a platform where you can like share your games. And, you know, when you Google something, the bigger the platform, it's going to be like the first thing that pops up on your channel, right? It's going to be the first thing that pops up in your Google search. So Twitch was the very first thing that popped up. So I researched into it and all this other stuff. And I was like, okay, well, I can do that. They were like, you know, you should get a camera. You could do this, you can do that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I didn't know that I could do it without a camera. I was just thinking I had to have a camera to do it.
Yeah.
So I bought this super cheap, like $200 video camera, like a webcam. It was absolutely horrible. It was terrible. I go back and I look at some of my videos now and I was like, oh my God, what was I doing?
You and I both. So I've only been streaming for almost, well, how long have I been out of the military now? 7 months almost? About that. If not like a month less than that, because by the time I was getting out by starting my stream, it was pretty much like to get running together.
Like going together?
Yeah. I feel your struggle there. Like Silent Hill 2, when I first played that game, Vice, what I'm doing now with Resident Evil,
You have grown so much.
Bananas in
And
comparison.
I think it was because I don't know this for a fact, but I think because you were running off of your Mac and then
Yes.
you moved over to Windows, right?
I did.
And as soon as you moved over to Windows, instantaneous change.
Instantaneous.
Like, huge quality of life change. So I was like, that's actually pretty dope.
That's saying something for Apple right there.
We're not gonna talk about it. But yeah, I figured out how to do all of that stuff, and I was getting into I was making YouTube videos because I was like playing a lot of games and doing YouTube creation. But my friends would come in and they were kind of like hang out a little bit. But it was just me like sharing my videos with my friends, like doing live streams with my friends. And I never imagined in a million fucking years that I would be where I'm at right now. Because I was like, I didn't even know at the time that I could get paid to stream on Twitch. Had no clue. I didn't really care about that. I was just doing this as like a hobby. And then people started like kind of showing up randomly because they were looking at the stuff that I was playing. And after a while, I started learning more and more about Twitch, about, becoming affiliate and, getting paid to be able to stream video games. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's kind of like a nice little side hustle. I don't expect anything from it, but that's pretty cool. And then all of a sudden, I started being kind of pulled into these communities because I started venturing out more on Twitch and like just watching other people play stuff that I enjoyed playing. And then I got pulled into their communities. And because I got pulled into their communities, other people from their communities then started coming to watch me. And they were enjoying the things that I were playing. And it's just like this big full circle thing that happens. And now I have like 605, I think, followers right now.
I think so, yeah.
And I was just like, why do y'all like me? I don't understand. I'm literally just on Twitch being a
There's no reason
dude.
to ask anymore because like to me, like when I get into your Twitch channel, it's one, the people that are in your chat box are so welcoming and they're so like
they are
instantaneously so genuinely nice. And then like the feedback loop of like, oh, thank you for like, saying hi and things like that. Like I still to this day feel that resonance from your moderators as well as people who are not and who are just continuous watchers of
because I got rid of the turds. Like if they came in there and they were being turds, I was like, you got to go. We don't do that here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I think as a streamer, you have to be able to do that. If you have people that come into your chat and are being turds and are trolling and stuff like that, I give them a couple of chances. I'll give them like 2-3 chances. And I'm like, all right, you're kind of being a douche. I'm going to have to ban you. Sorry, because this is not the way my community works. And that's kind of how we've kept the positive vibes that we have right now, because I just don't allow people to do that. And even if that might be their tendency, like no kidding in real life, they know that when they come to Lightbright stream, she's not putting up with that bullshit. So don't come in there unless that's like the foster of the community right then. If we're on a day where we've been trolling real hard for like a long time and you want to come in there and do all the sound effects and do all the things and troll Lightbright, that's fine. But that's not like a regular thing. You don't come in here and bully people and do all the things and all the stuff like we just don't do that. And that's pretty universal throughout Twitch. But I think we do a really, really good job of welcoming people.
I remember my first 3 months of streaming and there was a whole thing about bots. Do you remember that? And just like killing
we haven't left the bots yet.
We haven't
left the bots yet. No, because I still get bots.
I didn't. Well, and you were mentioning in one of my streams, you were like going through and killing all these people coming in. And I didn't know, like, I just thought, oh, maybe they're just like, I don't know from my end if these are real people or if these are like bots. And thankfully for you, you came in like a knight in shining armor. You're like, hold on, babe. Click, 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 click. And I was like, hold on, I'll help. Because
I was like, let me just weed them out real quick. Let me just get rid of them.
I probably helped get them in there.
Because it's like, there was a long time that we were dealing with people that were generating bots, just like massively generating bots. And they were like, not just lurker bots, because there are some bots that are good for your channel that kind of like boost your numbers a little bit to like get you more views. Yeah, like Stream Elements and stuff like that. But there are bots that people who were not exactly of sound mind and or disposition, they were going and creating bots to generate messages that were hateful towards a certain group of people, i.e. minorities, LGBTQIA plus, all kinds of stuff.
Right here,
so we were just like,
absolutely. I mean, I had the F word, thrown around in a chat box a couple of times, and I went, I had no problems putting the game on pause and going like, hold on, just doing business and then carrying on. And then if it popped in again, it popped in again. I just was like, I was real chill about it. But at the same time, I could see if there was like so much, at one time.
And it's like, we got to a point where it was like, we were like super duper upset about it. We were like so pissed. It's like, oh my God, you're coming here doing all this racist stuff, to the point where we were like, okay, so you're going to troll us. We'll just troll you back. So what I would do is when I would get a hate raid, we would go to like the party scene, and I would, for like however long they were spamming the chat, I would just be in the background shaking my ass the entire time they were spamming chat with all the party music going. Didn't matter. This is what you wanted to come in here to see? Roger that. That's what we're doing today. So we would just
you want to see me work? Okay, well, I'm a twerk for you. Let's go.
We'll twerk and make it work. If this is what you wanted to see, that's fine. You just gonna have to look at me shaking my ass for the next however long you want to spam your emotes in here. Have fun. Have fun with that. So yeah, we kind of just took it and flipped it around and kind of let ourselves be okay with it, because it's just trolls. It's more trolls, and we have the ability with our community to troll back and just cut them off. So why be mad about it? Thanks for the views. Thanks for the views. Thank you, appreciate it.
If you think it's hurting us,
it's really not
detrimental to a second, and then after that, you're nothing.
Yeah, really, you're just kind of like, really? Okay, well, let's put on the mode then. Let's go. And then that's pretty much the end of it. Like, all right.
Yes, absolutely. Building a community. How you touched on it earlier, that it was like you and Bella, like, and then talking to other groups of people and watching other streams, things like that. What do you think is the spice of life to building a community? Like
being genuine. Being genuine, because if people come in and see you for who you are, that's how you're going to be the entire time. They're going to know that it's you, and those people are genuinely going to come watch you because that's just who you are. Second thing, consistency. I see a lot of streamers that have issues with that, is they have a lot of trouble building their community. And I'm like, well, I see you stream like twice a month. So you don't really give yourself the time or people the time to come find you and build that community. Networking is the third thing. A lot of times you're not going to build a community. If you're really trying to build your community, you need to network with people that are within the same genre as you. So if you like RPGs, don't go to freaking somebody's Black Ops community trying to network with people. And then people come to see you and you're playing RPGs and they're like, I don't watch this shit. And then they leave. So it's like, you kind of have to kind of foster that and talk to people and be, I guess, mentored by people that have the same likes that you do. It's kind of like making friends. You go make friends that like the same thing that you like, and you build a community based off of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, for you, what I've noticed from you is a lot of them are story driven video games, like, which is a thing that, if survival horror, I do survival horror mostly. And then like sometimes I do like random off video games, like, in between. Much like anybody else, I think. But survival horror is such a niche genre.
I will tell you,
because it's a make or break of whether or not you're going to get through it or not.
It is. And I will tell you, I only ever watched YouTubers that have like pre-recorded their stuff do survival horror. You are the first Twitch streamer that I have watched that does survival horror. I think you're the only one I watch, actually, that does survival horror. And I'm there for it because I like watching your content. So it's like, I get the same kind of like endorphins from watching you playing the thing that I do some of these big time like YouTubers play through survival horror. So that's good. That's a good niche for you to be in because it's not a big one.
It's not.
A lot of people are not doing that. Like, and it is hilarious, especially with like the jump scares and all that other stuff. Great clips come from that. And I absolutely love it. Like when you're freaking oh my globs and your yells, I'm cackling cackling in my bed when I'm laying there watching you. And my husband's like, "Are you watching Sean?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, I am. Yes, I'm watching Sean
Did he
right
just
now."
get scared? Yes.
Yeah, he did. Oh, they're fucking giggling.
It's over the stupidest things too, isn't it? Like, it's always the stupidest stuff, and it's like, at the end of the day,
it would scare shit out of me too. So just know that. Just know that.
Thank
You're the
you. You know what
only
I
survival
wish?
horror
I
Twitch streamer I
wish that there
watch.
was a moment where, like, we on the other side of the stream could hear the laughter or the, you know what I mean, or the, you know, the audience interaction. You know what I'm saying?
You know how I'd be like giving my spiel, like when certain stuff happens in the Twitch, and then I have like this whole monologue about it.
Yeah.
I do the same thing when you be getting scared. I be going off. I'd be conversating with you like you can actually hear me.
Yeah. I do the same thing to you too, where I'm conversating with you, going like, "Oh shit, girl, that cat is not, huh?
It's not the
Stray."
one.
We're talking about Stray, but Stray,
Yeah.
I was just like, "Oh, this game gonna add sadly."
And I think that that is what brings you into the community. When you have
Mm-hmm.
a streamer that you're like you're having a whole conversation with this person, and you know damn well they can't hear you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of person that I want to be involved with, because you have got my full attention at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. And I have to like hurry up and try to type, because I'm like, no, don't go there. Oh no, it's too late. Like, damn, Sean, I tried to tell you I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I love all of it. I love every second of it. I love it.
And now we get to watch the struggle bus.
It's like, ooh, so what's
because I'm the same way talking to you with your RPGs and things like that. Or, well, actually, to be honest, I'm too busy looking at some of them RPG games and looking at the men going like this. Be fine.
Which
I'm
is
not
why I
saying
have
his
high
name is.
standards.
I'm not saying his name is.
RPGs.
I'm not saying his name is Gaston. I'm saying his name is Gayston. Okay, like. I'm not clearing my throat because I'm thirsty.
A little parched right now. A little parched. I love it. And this is why. This is why I do what I do, because we have interactions like this on Twitch. And like prime example today, my stream had me cackling for hours today. And I was like, I don't know what you guys are on today, but I was like, my stomach was hurting by the end of it, just from the stuff that the guys and gals were typing in the chat. It was so good.
That's
it was so
awesome.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and again, you and I and many other peeps on the stream have those moments too, where I'm just like, wait, what? I can't believe that this is becoming a moment right now, and I'm gonna relish this for a moment. That's really, at the end of the day, I feel like for Twitch, it's not. I don't know about you, but have you noticed that maybe it's not necessarily about the game, that it's about those
100%.
Those moments right there, those synchronicities between you and somebody who you don't even know around the world, who's just enjoying the time and the moment with you and going like, that was hilarious. Or, we start rolling, because I even have partaken on your stream on a roll and such, like, oh my gosh, like,
it's like once it gets started, it's a goddamn avalanche. You can't stop it at that point. And you might as well just ride it out.
I think there was one in particular with the Walking Dead series that you did.
Yeah.
And we just could not stop innuendoing for the, yes, you know what I'm talking about. But there was there was a whole thing about it, and we just could not stop. I mean,
because let it go, because everything that happened just tied right back into it. And I was just like, oh my Jesus. Oh my God. It was so great. It's moments like that make being a part of that community, being a part of Twitch is like a thing. Because you can play games all day long if you're sitting there and just playing games, but nobody wants to watch that. If you're playing a game like that, they're literally watching you either because you're the best, like the number one player in that game, on that platform, in the world or in the nation or whatever, or you're extremely entertaining. And so, and everybody has their own different levels of what they're entertained by. And a lot of times I don't focus it so much on myself, but I try to make it kind of like a group project kind of thing. Like, I know what I bring to the table. How are you guys doing today? What do you guys think about this? What do you guys want to see come out from today? And I think that brings a lot more viewers in because I have so much interactivity and all the troll stuff that I add to my channel too. That's also a thing. So their channel points is a huge thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that you just kind of put to the side because what you're really focused on is the interaction between you and the person beyond the screen there that, you know, you're interacting with at the end of the day. That is ultimately like that's what makes the show at the
I
end of
kind
the
of look
day.
at it like this way. Like if you invited somebody, like you invited a friend over to your house, you're not going to invite them over to your house and then you guys sit on the couch and you play video games while they're sitting next to you on the couch. It's literally the same damn thing.
It's literally the same thing. Yes, you're right. Yep.
But you're not going to like not talk to them. You're going to have interactions. You guys are going to talk about stuff and be like, oh, bro, did you fucking see that shit? Did you see what happened just now? Like, it's going to be that type of thing. Or you might even pass the controllers to the other person, which is that
actually,
other...
That's actually that's a technique that I've had to cultivate, which is continuously learning how to talk and not only just talk, but it's like, I don't know if this makes sense, but I feel like a part of it helps when the game gives me something to talk about.
Yes,
And
that
then
is
I
really
narrate
difficult to do. Yeah.
And also talking about the game. Well, for me, survival horror. For you, RPG. But even in RPGs, like with Final Fantasy or with your one-player games like the cat game. What was it called again?
Stray.
Stray. I was like, oh, I don't want the cat to be a stray. I don't want to think about the cat being a stray, but
he is though.
He is a stray.
But he's still cute. It's okay. So
I want to adopt it.
Like being able to just like continuously talk, because that's another thing. When you don't have a lot of viewers, you have to continuously talk because if somebody comes into your stream and you're just being quiet, they'll get, and then they'll just leave. Like that person's not talking. There's nothing going on. You have like a good 10 seconds of that person entering your stream to kind of grab their attention to what's going on. So if whatever is going on in the stream, I'm usually conversating about what's going on in the stream if my chat is quiet. So if my chat, because even if you have a whole bunch of people in your chat, sometimes the chat's just invested in what you're doing and they're not talking because they don't want to ruin it. And I think a lot of people get that confused.
I had a chatter who he was like, God, what game was it? I think it was Downpour. It was Downpour. So do you remember when please share a moment with you where something was like that, if you can remember. I was in the tower. Remember the tower sequence? And the first part was the parking lot. And I went into that door and I opened it. And one of the guys in the chat box was like, don't do it. And I was like, fuck. And then like the monster comes in from behind me and grabs me. And I'm like, oh my God.
I was like, ooh, not fast enough. It's because of that damn lag. It's because of the Twitch lag, because that is definitely a thing. But yeah, like majority of the time, like sometimes my chat will be really quiet because I'm playing a game and they're like super into it and they're just watching and they don't want to like ruin it with like the chat. And some people don't get that. And that's okay sometimes. Where people then start coming in and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and then it's distracting and all this other stuff happens. But it's kind of like you have to read the room to figure out what's going on. But there are some days where chat's really quiet because they're really just, they see you're intensely into the game. So they're like, oh shit, she's actually doing really good. I don't want to ruin it. And then there's other times where it's like, okay, she's playing a scary game. She's clearly really scared. I'm gonna throw some distractions in there to help her calm down a little bit. You might be helping the streamer out. You know what I'm saying? Because it may or may not be me.
Or you might be intensifying it with like, I don't know, random strings or completely blacking out the screen or whatever it is. That, yeah. Not to say that I haven't done that before, but
there are many times, you know. It's all good, fam.
Like whatever that image was on top of your screen that popped up for like 5 seconds, you know?
Oh my
Like,
God. There have been so many jump scares, especially when I was using Dixper. I think it was when I was using Dixper. And
I
you
think
sent
so.
that to my screen where it just like
Mhm.
blacked out my screen. I was like, oh my God, dude, I can't even see anything. And then I was like dead. It's like, well, that happened.
Yep.
Okay, we'll try again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough. Money well spent.
Money well spent.
Indeed.
For the shenanigans, mayhem, and tomfoolery
Yeah,
of
if
just
you want to
other
spend money
random
on it,
people.
absolutely.
Just people being dicks to one another.
I did it to myself. I mean, if I didn't think it was okay, I would have uploaded it. So it's totally fine.
Right. Man, creating a brand has been one of those things that I've noticed jumping into streaming. How long have you been doing streaming again?
Oh, it's been like 3.5 years. 3.5
Three and a
years.
half years? Okay.
Yeah.
So, for myself being 6 months behind, like not 6 months behind, but 6 months into it, it's
Mhm.
been, oh my gosh, like, whew, it is like a river. It's like a river, like a rushing river, and you're just paddling upstream and you're
Mhm.
trying, you're trying, you're trying, you're trying, you're trying. And I remember day one being, I don't know if you remember your day one, but creating the brand of LitebrightIndie is, it's not something that comes with blueprints. It's not something
No.
that comes with, here's your 101 on
Mhm.
how to, I don't even think that with the information that both you and I have taken our time and our day to educate ourselves with,
Yeah.
there is still to this day not a blueprint on what equals success
Nope.
in that field. To me, I don't know about you, but what I've taken away is, well, for one, I do it for the sanity of my heart that I'm a minimalist. So
Mhm.
whatever the bare minimum is, that's what I'm doing,
Yeah.
first and foremost. Second is I treat it like a show. I treat it like when I sign off, I say be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and don't pollute. That's actually from one of my favorite TV shows that I grew up with
Oh.
when I first moved to America, and that
Okay.
was the Carol Burnett show.
Okay.
And she always did an ear tug
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
to say hello
Mhm.
to her loved ones, her family.
Yeah.
And I do that too because again, Carol Burnett, I was in 3rd grade. I didn't know any better. I didn't
Mhm.
know the comedy was very adult-ish.
Yeah.
But now as an adult, I appreciate it even more. And I'm sitting here going like, that's what I bring to that's why I continue forward. I try to treat every episode as if it's an episode.
Yeah.
I have a
Mhm.
script. I literally have a, a piece of paper with my notes, line notes on what
Oh.
I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna
Okay.
talk about. I try to plan it out at least 2 weeks in advance. I don't know about you, but there's not really like a blueprint to the brand. And even integrating things like merch or, again, that first time someone subscribes or gives you, what are they called? Biddies? Bits?
Yes, the
Bits?
bits.
The
The
bits?
bits.
I'm like, what are these biddies? I don't know, like big biddies, little biddies,
So
medium
it's just
biddies. What are
like,
these biddies?
yeah, it's a monetary thing that you can use or you can get once you hit affiliate. So that is
Mhm.
definitely a thing. And when I first started streaming, I didn't understand any of that shit.
Mhm.
I didn't learn about that kind of stuff until like a year later because I didn't make affiliate until like a year and a half into streaming.
Okay.
It had been a long time before I actually made affiliate.
Wow.
But as far as like my branding, I have changed my brand, I think no less than 6 times.
Wow.
I changed my name twice because
Okay, so what was it before?
so before when I first started streaming, I was Indigo Indie,
Okay.
and then I changed it to Indie Esta because that was like my PlayStation name for a while. And then I didn't
Oh.
like that, and I was like, well, my nickname growing up was like Light Bright. They called me
Mhm.
Light Bright all the time because your girl was like super light skinned back then. Like if you think I'm light skinned now, I was Um, so I said that I was going to use Light Bright Indie, and I put it out into the community because I had like a handful of followers. This was before I
Sure.
made affiliate. I was like, I'm thinking about doing this for my Twitch name. What are you guys thinking? They were like, you should absolutely do it because it just rolls off the tongue. It's like a good name. And I was like, okay, let me check and see if anybody else has this name just to make sure. Nobody else had the name. So I was like, all right, bet I'm going to do it. So, I changed my name a couple of times, and God, I've changed my stream. I don't know how many times, like just kind of finding my niche of what I want to be Light Bright Indie. And a part of it is because like my backgrounds and stuff will change because I moved, because, military, that kind of stuff happens. But I will get these ideas, inspirations, mind you, at like 11 o'clock at night when I've had a couple, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and I'll be playing a video game or I'll be watching a video or something, and I'll hear like a sound, and I'm like, oh my God, that would be a dope redemption sound for me to do something with. And then I'm up until 4 o'clock the next morning, completely redoing my stream because I heard that 1 10-second little sliver of something that inspired me to do something, and I've completely revamped my entire stream. So I think it just comes along with what you do that inspires you.
Yeah.
What's going to make you happy? Because I've gotten to this point now where it's like my stream is based off of, it has a lot of Adult Swim influence, because Adult Swim started me down this whole path that I'm on right now. Adult Swim made me the person that I am today. Once I learned about anime, it was a wrap.
Yeah. Speaking of Adult Swim, I remember that like in my last year of high school, and it was, I remember the lineup to this day on Toonami and on Adult Swim. I would catch it on both ends.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, like for me, Tenchi Muyo was on Adult Swim. Outlaw Star was on. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So here's the thing. This was like the run, but yeah, like, or like Samurai Champloo.
That is literally one of my favorites.
Thank you.
Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, because I forced my daughter to watch Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo with me, which fucking phenomenal shows.
Yu
freaking
Hakusho,
Yu Yu Hakusho, through
Rurouni Kenshin,
all the seasons, all of them, all of them.
Absolutely.
So the Dark Tournament, bro, come on, come on.
Well, I have something to say about that. Bait and switch.
Big facts.
That was the dark tournament. That was the dark tournament.
Because you weren't expecting any of that shit that happened towards the end. I was just like, what? Huh?
And then they had to go and send these guys on a whole other run
while Yusuke was getting his shit kicked in. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just. Yep. I watched it on Hulu recently, and I was like, oh, that's bringing back 2019 vibes, because I watched the whole DVD. Show. I have it on my hard drive.
Yes. Because I found Yu Yu Hakusho out here when I came out here to Hawaii the first time, and I found that they had the entire series, everything, through the Dark Tournament, everything. And I was like, I'm buying it. I think I spent like $200.
That's about right.
Yeah, I think I spent like $200 that day just on that one anime. And I was like,
I spent the same amount many years ago, back in 2007, at an anime convention in Oklahoma City. Don't ask me why, but it was
because why not?
Well, it was a time. So anyway, Tenchi Universe, every single DVD, it was like a whole box set and everything. Anyway, so I understand that, but yes, you think about that, like you say, like, Adult Swim cultivated that curve to how you present your stream. In my heart, I feel like with survival horror, though that's not like that's like my main thing. I feel like survival horror is my main thing, and then everything on the sides of it, if it's like, if you catch me watching an old-fashioned movie or a one-off video game, shoot, I was playing Stardew Valley once.
Okay.
I think you caught in like at the butt end of it, but
probably
it was just like one of those days where I was like, we'll just play this.
Something else. Let's play something different. Yeah,
do this because I don't want to get scared. That's a lot of adrenaline for me right now, and I'm just not really feeling that. Like,
Like,
I'm
I don't
also
really feel
not
like having
feeling
the
the
shit scared out of me. It's
stress of
fine.
I'm not feeling the stress of zombies right now.
Yeah. I understand, because
It's
there will be
like,
times where I've been playing like a series for like a while, like
yeah.
say The Walking Dead. And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, y'all, listen, I can't today. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot Walking Dead today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play some feel good freaking Final Fantasy 14. I'm not even PvPing today. I just want to run dungeons, and we're gonna sit here, we're gonna chat. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And those actually turn out to be pretty good fucking streams. So I get it.
Yep. Yep. I feel like with survival horror, or at least with scary games, there's comedy in it. And I love comedy, even if I'm the
Yep.
butt of the joke of it, which eventually that's what's happening when one gets scared. And even when you get scared, I'm like, oh my God, that got me too.
It's like a pretty decent jump scare.
If it's decent enough. If it's not, nah,
I
it's
scared the
like,
shit out of my chat today.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I did. I didn't do it on purpose, but it got me and it got them, because I yelled and they yelled and everybody was yelling. So they were just like, that scared the shit out of me. So it got everybody. It was good times.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's get into Never Have I Ever. This is a part of the podcast that we get into.
Okay.
All tea, no shade. Never
Raj.
have I ever imagined being married to someone.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yeah, if you haven't watched a Disney movie and not thought about like being married to a prince, you're wrong.
The entire Avengers line. Hello.
When I saw okay. Alti. Motoko Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell was the first cartoon I've ever seen fully naked.
Also love Ghost in the Shell.
And
that
it
was one
like,
of my first
that's
animes
my
too.
woman.
Oh my God, love her.
Right?
Jesus Christ. The music?
Right?
I still sing that
Yoko
shit
Kanno
to the top of my lungs.
Yoko Kanno. Same lady who does Cowboy Bebop, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. So if you listen to Yoko Kanno and the Seatbelts, they do a lot of the bebop music for Cowboy Bebop.
How did I not know? That's why I love them. That's why I love them both. That's why I love them both.
I'm here for you. I'm the music guy. Because I'm in here going like this. Who does the music for this?
Who is this?
Oh, okay.
Speaking of which, Neon White, the main character from the new game that I'm playing, is voiced by Spike, the same guy that did Spike Spiegel.
Steve Bloom?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know he's local to you.
Where?
He's in Hawaii.
Stop.
Serious.
I see. Now you're finna go make me look some shit up.
he and his wifey, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. Mary Elizabeth McGlynn played Motoko Kusanagi in the anime cartoon, like Adult Swim. Not the original Kusanagi, but from Standalone Complex On. That's Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. Mary Elizabeth McGlynn is also married to Stephen Bloom. Stephen Bloom played Spike. Mary Elizabeth McGlynn sings the music to Silent Hill since Silent Hill 3 in 2001, honey.
That's crazy.
Yes, and when they released the HD version, they had to do. So here's the thing: like this is like Silent Hill, like all tea, no shade. When when Konami came out with an HD version of Silent Hill, they were having a problem with the original voice actors because the original voice actors, the guy who played James, do you remember that game?
I do.
James and Laura, they're actually father and daughter in real life.
Oh,
yeah. So that's why when the two of them were talking in the video game, it kind of felt like they knew each other. Like
it was fucking
very genuine. Well, the problem was that the father was like, "Hey, I want my royalties for, the voice acting. If you're going to reissue this game again." And Konami goes, "Well, you're not a part of a union. You're not a voice actor, so why should we pay you?" And he said, "Well, then I'm going to sue you." And so that's put the project out on hiatus. So Mary Elizabeth McGlynn hired a bunch of voice actors, within the group, to redo the voice acting for Silent Hill 2. So when I streamed it, I did it on the original voice acting. They actually got around to cutting the original voice acting and putting it into the video game that I played because they were able to pay the voice actors from the original game. But they also already greenlit all these new actors.
All the new stuff,
So you could play it with two different voice types.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I didn't know that.
Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, what we in the fan base call the voice of Silent Hill, because she does all the music. She doesn't do all the, she does all the singing.
Yeah.
She plays as Mary and Maria in Silent Hill 2.
That's neat. Okay,
There's a
Silent Hill
little
T.
swirl of information there, but yeah, they're local in Hawaii.
There's so much of that happens though.
Yeah.
In like the anime and the voice acting community, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. I learned something new today.
Yeah, right. And you can actually see her as an actress in one episode of Star Trek Voyager.
Where?
It's like one of the late seasons. I think it's like season 6.
We're gonna talk offline.
Yeah.
Look, because I love Star Trek, we're gonna talk offline.
Got you, girl.
Okay.
All right, let's play some What If. What if a raccoon starts chasing you when you are taking your garbage out?
He's getting punted like football. What do you mean? I'm like 3 times as big as a fucking raccoon.
You know what I would do? I would try to like basketball my trash into the bin and then run. Like,
no, all it takes is one swift kick. Either that or, okay, if you're hungry, bro, here, like take out some garbage, maybe like throw some garbage at him or something. But if you're being too aggressive, you started it. And I'm gonna finish it.
This fight.
And I'm gonna finish it. You are nothing but a moving football. Do not play with me. We are not gonna play this game.
I could just imagine like just a trash can just being punked.
Yep, you're just gonna see it pew as I'm emptying my garbage can and walking back to my house. No.
What if your back goes out and you can't get off a toilet in an airplane bathroom?
Well, I guess somebody today is gonna have to see my chocha if I can't get to my husband. Somebody is about to see what Lightbright's working with today because I need help off the damn toilet.
I don't think that's as bad as like when you find out you've been super glued to the toilet, but it's pretty much bad up there with the line.
Because there's so much more pain that involves super glue.
Well, I mean, you threw your back out.
I mean, I threw my back out, but I can at least like be moved mobily off of the. We're talking about detaching skin.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's no way that somebody on the airplane is going to have a way to dissolve super glue. It's not going to happen. So now we're talking about pieces of skin missing, and that's just not fucking okay.
That's just another layer.
That's a whole nother layer that we're just not even going to get into. So yeah, no, I'm sliding the door open, and I'm just gonna be like, ma'am, because it's probably some airline stewardess over there. Ma'am, I threw my back out. I need you to either go get my husband, or you're gonna have to help my big ass up off toilet. One or two.
Okay, you're traveling for a detachment, and you have to fly from Hawaii to Fallon, Nevada, and
gross.
And your back goes out in the latrine.
Oh,
on that Mac flight, what do?
Chief,
petty officer.
Chief,
I said petty officer.
Where my chief at? Go get my LCPO. I gotta deal with your bullshit. You gotta deal with my bullshit. Go get my chief. Go get him.
And a whole airplane full of sailors just like,
yep. And they're gonna be like, damn, did you see what happened to NC1?
Yo, AZ2 got stuck on the toilet.
I gotta live that one down. That's gonna follow me my entire naval career. So whatever, fuck it. Somebody's gonna find out. I don't even care no more.
What if the driver in front of you pays for your coffee? I would just take the coffee and go. I'm one of those basic white bitches that I'll be like, I won't keep this train going.
So I'm with you. I would kind of be like, oh my God, thank you so much. They're gonna be like, you're not gonna pay for it? No. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm out.
Here's what I do. When they ask me, like, do you want to pay for it? Like, do you want to keep it going? This is what I do. I look at my rearview mirror and see how many people I can count in the car behind me. Because then that tells me whether or not this is going to keep on going or not.
What's their ticket? How many drinks they got on their ticket? Oh, they got like 8? Oh, they're doing a run? No, I'm good.
I'm not doing a buy or fly for somebody else. Fuck that shit.
Nah. Nope. Nope. Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh. What is your favorite game or series that you've twitched?
Final Fantasy.
Final
Period.
Fantasy, dead end.
Well, Final Fantasy and The Walking Dead. Final
Yeah,
Fantasy
I
and The
really like
Walking
your
Dead.
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, here's the thing. You know, because I've talked about it in your stream chat. It's really hard for me to get into. Well, except for who's the guy with the black tuxedo that's like super husky and like built and the long hair?
Oh, in Final Fantasy?
Yeah, he looked real good.
Damn, in a tuxedo.
Yeah. Oh my
No,
gosh, like
I can't think of who it is. Because I can
what
think of 2 guys in a tuxedo. There's Rude and there's Reno. And then
Hildebrand.
that dude, oh my God. So
That
that was
guy.
Final Fantasy 14. Yes.
That got my heart. Every time I see him, my heart little flutters. I don't want to play the game because I'm just like, I don't get Final Fantasy. But
Listen, to get to that point, there's so much dialogue you got to go through. So
see,
much.
exactly. And like, I love watching your Twitch on the Walking Dead because
Oh
like
yeah.
just the way that because I've played The Walking Dead once, it made me cry.
I cried several times.
Okay,
Yep.
like the first season, right? That was the hardest one because I was so hopeful for that ending, and then like
no, they took it from me. And then once they took it from me, I was like hardened the rest of the seasons I played. I was ready for everybody else to die. I was just like, I don't even care anymore.
You can't trust the script. You can't trust where anything is going. And the screwed up part behind that series is like they give you like this is what could possibly happen the next season, but already you're
pretty much you're just
sealed.
like, man, whatever.
Yeah,
you're like, I'm done. I don't care about any of you guys anymore.
Right.
They took him from me. It's done.
What was his name? Clarence?
Oh my God, what's the dude's name?
It's like start with a C, right?
Because there's Clementine, and then there was Lee. His name is Lee.
Lee.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lee. Yes.
Yep. Freaking Lee, man. I fell in love with that character because I felt like, we got such a connection, and then afterwards it was like this.
Yep.
I can't believe I just cried over this.
Like that whole scene, I was like this. The whole scene. I was just like, no, bro. I cried. I cried at the end of it. Live on stream.
Everything.
Yeah, I legit cried on stream. I was just like, hey, I can't do this. I played that thing
on I played that video game on a PlayStation Portable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's how old that game is.
That game has been around for a minute.
Yeah. Final Fantasy. I'm gonna say like I have the first. Maybe it's just not fair because I have the first one on the Nintendo remaster or whatever that stupid machine's called. But Nintendo, they have like the 2 minis or whatever. And they also have another Final Fantasy on the Super Nintendo. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like it feels like a really involved Excel spreadsheet with a storyline. Like, am I wrong?
Kind of, yes, because you got to get the formulas right, and then there's grindage in order for you to get to the in-game content and all this other kind of stuff. It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. You can like muscle your way through the storyline and like kind of come out okay. But honestly, if you want to get through like the in-game content, you have to grind. And people, the grind is not for everybody. Everybody does not like to grind.
No,
in RPG games.
And for survival horror, you don't grind.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't grind for survival horror. It is you're a basic bro, or well, except for Silent Hill Homecoming. I don't know what happened there, but they decided to make the main character an ex-army guy, and yeah, that was his whole backstory. He came back from the war, whatever the hell that was, but it was 2008, so we're just gonna roll with it.
Okay.
And so that's why he was a little bit more combative in Homecoming, and then they reeled it way back for Downpour, where you're
just a regular schmegular degular dude.
Yeah, exactly. Just like survival horror is supposed to be.
Yeah.
But for the grind, I'm okay with the grind per
I'm
se.
not.
A
I love
little
Final
bit,
Fantasy, but I don't.
a little bit, but that
Yeah.
little bit, the payoff has to be a little bit more than it feels like you're doing that, like you're doing a lot more grind for a little payoff
Mhm.
than um the equal amount of grind for equal payoff. And I don't know if that's maybe a critique on Square Enix, but
So
then again,
that's like more along the lines of like, you know how they have video games now where you could put it on like casual mode, normal mode, or like hardcore. If you
yeah.
grind, it puts the game into casual mode for you where you can just enjoy the storyline as opposed to you having to
Oh.
worry about. But those are like the older fucking RPG games. The newer ones, you don't have to worry about that so much.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
that's where I need to start off at. But then the problem that I have with Final Fantasy is that there's so many iterations and no one touches 13 apparently.
I enjoyed 13,
Oh, you did?
but it was actually 13 was actually one of the more difficult games to play
That's what I've heard.
because it was so different from the other
Ah,
Final Fantasies that they were doing, especially coming from 12, where you have like the targeted active battle system, but you still had like a wait mode. You didn't really necessarily have that in 13.
mm-hmm.
And then
But
you
then
had
I
to
heard in
deal with like
13,
paradigm shifts and all that other stuff. It was a lot.
I heard that in 13, there's also a implementation that Square Enix did where you could just skip the battling and it kind of like randomized whether or not you survived or not, essentially. Like,
I don't know if that's true, but because I played that way back then. So
oh,
maybe if they
okay,
did like re-releases for it, maybe.
maybe.
But I don't know. I have to look that up. I don't know if there's some
Okay.
truth to that or not.
Hmm.
Hmm. We shall find
Where
out.
where would you for Final Fantasy or RPGs in like particular, where would you tell someone to start off at? For myself, how about this? If I was to pick up an RPG, where would you tell me to pick up at?
Hmm. That's a hard question.
Oh.
Because Final Fantasy was my first RPG,
Mhm.
like period.
Wait, the
Um,
first one?
very first. Final Fantasy 8 was
Oh,
my
fuck
very
that
first
game.
RPG ever.
No. I will say that because I'm so sorry because it's like your favorite one, but like at the
Yep.
same time, I'm like, oh fuck that game because like I said, it's like a very involved Excel spreadsheet with a
It's
map
very involved.
involved. Like,
But it was like I was so used to playing like 2D platformers, and then here they
oh.
come with this game that has all of these people that's like basically a video game soap opera. And I'm like, I'm fucking about this shit. What is this? Like, I get all the tea. Like, what's happening right now?
Hmm.
So I think for RPGs, Lord, I know 8 is one of the easier ones to get into because
Okay.
it's a lot more dialogue based. And in Final Fantasy 8, you can actually play through the game and not fight any of the monsters because the monsters scale with you. So if you don't ever level, the monsters don't get hard. All
This
you
might
do
be
is
my game.
they don't ever level. If you don't level, the monsters level with you. So all you do is you draw all the magic from all the monsters that you encounter and you junction them and you just go to the end of the game with all this fucking high level magic. And these monsters don't fuck with you.
This actually okay. So Final Fantasy 8 might be my game then. I'm gonna write this down right now.
Yep. You just have to not level basically. Because everybody like 8 is about the not grindage. Do not grind in this game because then you're gonna get beat up.
Remember that we shall call it a barely a tutorial mode that we all started off at. Yeah, just
Yeah.
stay there. Just
Yeah, just stay there.
don't
Stay at
even
tutorial mode.
yeah.
Don't fight any of the monsters. Just draw magic, junction it, be out.
Yeah.
Figure
So
out where the summons are at. Go
mhm.
find the summons, get them, get out. You're good.
You're right. You're making me think right now. I know I'm like a little tips, but here's the thing. The first like you're saying like, oh, so just stay like at the level of your first like level, right? Well, in
Mhm.
Silent Hill, your video in throughout the video game, the more weapons you acquire as you go through the game, the stronger they become, the stronger they are, so that way you can fend off the monsters that you
Yeah.
um obviously are gonna be stronger, right?
Yeah.
Um I'm thinking for Silent Hill 2, what if I did like a whole stream where I did nothing but the fucking wooden plank that you get at the very beginning?
You're just big and fucking zombies over there.
It wouldn't work very well because you have to get to where Pyramid Head is. Do you remember that? And you have to like, shoot Pyramid Head, and then he goes down the stairs, opens the door. I don't know what that would do if all I had was a wooden plank, and
you might not be able to proceed past that point.
I don't know.
That would be a sick Twitch challenge, though.
Right? That would be freaking fire. Oh my gosh. It's just staying with that. There's some games where obviously that wouldn't work because you have to.
There are certain things you have to do.
Yeah. And there's also like, for example, like when I was playing Homecoming, there was a glitch in the Matrix that I did as an example, and then I actually did it. I was like, oh shit, I fucked up, because I wanted to do the actual run and not like the complete run, and not just do the glitch and then glitch myself.
And they keep going. Yeah.
Because that glitch cuts you halfway through the game.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So you have to go down a ladder, come back up, and you get all this material that you didn't get before. Like a gun, a shotgun, an axe, like a pipe out of nowhere. Because all you had was a knife at the beginning. You go down a ladder and up, and you're on fire for the rest of the game.
Interesting.
And I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to start this over again.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that. Sorry.
2 hours later. What would you suggest to be the things that would help a new streamer out?
Do not feel the need to buy an excessive amount of shit. And what I mean by that is you can be a successful streamer without having the high-end stuff.
Minimalism.
Yes. You can 100%, because like you do not have to have the best camera. All of that stuff can be upgraded later. And there's so many things out there right now that like software downloads and stuff like that can help you upgrade your stream without having to go and buy professional gear. Like my webcam, thank God they came out with this webcam, because the webcam that I had before was like a pretty basic webcam. But they have stuff embedded in your streaming software that can help make your camera look better, that can help make your microphone sound better. They have voice changers and stuff that you can use from your phone to change the voice in your mic, and it's free. So do not go out there and feel like you got to spend money on everything, because they're going to try to get you to do that. Don't do that. Do your research. Look for people on YouTube like Gale Level, Alpha Gaming, things like that, where people they have been around the block for a little while, and they're actually there to help streamers that are balling on a budget figure out what they need to do to be successful without spending that much money. Do not buy a whole bunch of shit.
Absolutely. I think that was like one of the convoluted things about starting off streaming, because at first, like my first stream was actually me playing. What was your first stream? Because my first stream was me playing Layers of Fear, but it was with the microphone in my mouth, and then you were just watching the video game. You didn't see me in a corner or anything. It was just me talking while I was playing a video game, and I was like, so how do we do this?
Yeah.
You know? And that becomes that Pandora's box where there's so much of like, get all this. And it's like, wait, hold on. A reliable computer.
Yeah.
A webcam. Something that a webcam that at least has a bus to it, or has a, is it called a bus?
Like the USB?
Yeah, like it captures on real time. It doesn't like it stores and sends at the same time. A microphone, a dynamic microphone, preferably. A couple of lights, obviously, and I would say that's about it.
And sometimes you don't even need the lights. So if you're like streaming during the day and you have really good natural lighting, sometimes that shit is the best too. Natural lighting looks really good in some people's streams, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Until it washes me out and I am like this white light blob thing talking. That's the worst part behind natural light, because then I don't notice, because I'm too involved with this and the chat box,
Yeah.
and too involved, that I'm not looking at the little box here and going, oh, you guys cannot see me.
Yeah.
I am just literally a bald white guy or a blob
Mine is
thing.
just my window is so small that my natural lighting doesn't bring enough light in for my camera to actually pick me up. So I have to have extra lighting to come in so that my camera doesn't look like crap, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my first stream was, God, what was I playing? I'm pretty sure I was playing Final Fantasy 14 because that's what my friends wanted to see me play. And I had these headphones and my little boom mic that I had like super duper dumb close to my face so you could hear me breathing basically and existing. Yeah, exactly. I didn't have a microphone. I didn't have any of that stuff. And it was like, I didn't have any software. So it was like me making those videos and doing those streams and then going back and listening to myself, I would hear stuff and I would be like, okay, how can I improve upon that?
Mm-hmm.
And then I would go find the software. So you don't need a whole bunch of stuff. You just
No.
need the right software.
Even with things like, as far as like software, oh my God, hun, we have had conversations about software.
Mm-hmm.
OBS.
Yes, we have. Uh-huh.
Good Lord. That thing needs to come with a tutorial mode.
But it does though. But well, that one doesn't come with tutorial mode, but there are so many streamers out there that do literally a start to finish walkthrough of OBS.
And the problem with that is because in the OG days, right, with Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 1, for myself, I had a setup, and then I moved over from Mac to PC, and that was not working.
Completely fucking different. Yep. And
I'm like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? My old my dynamic microphone that I use for the studio here, right, in the sound booth here, it works for the Mac, which I'm using here for this, but this microphone works for the Mac and Windows. But for some reason, that one doesn't work, even though that one worked for the Mac.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, and that's what we like to call the streamer struggle, because one day all of your shit is going to work. And then there's going to be one day your alert's not going to work, or one day your microphone is just being a dick and you have to shut your OBS like 5-6 times in order for it to even pick up your microphone. It's a thing. It's technology.
Remember when I was struggling and you were just like, just restart. And I was like, are you sure? Is it me?
No, it's not you.
Like, I was crying, or like, I thought this was supposed to be a thing. I did everything that I was supposed to do.
Nope, it happens, because I'll open everything and do everything what I'm supposed to do, and my computer's just like, nope. So I'm like, okay, we'll just give it a restart and call it good. And then as soon as I restart it, everything works. I'm like,
I would say, at least if you boot up your computer once and load everything as if you were about ready to start streaming, shut it down, restart it, see if everything starts up again for a second time. If it feels good and you have that intuition of it feels good, we are working on all cylinders. But if it doesn't, restart it again.
And I've done it so many times where I know pretty damn near instantly, where if I open something, I'm like, oh, nope, need to restart it. And I'll just go ahead and do it right then. So that's a thing.
Yep.
What time we got? What time is it?
We're about to wrap this up. What inspires you today, this week, and this month? I asked this of all my guests because it's the whole point of the show, Inspire with Sean.
Well, mainly my family. Because everything that I do is for them. This week, I would say, this week, my inspiration really came from, because I had a crazy week this week.
You and I both.
It was just, my inspiration came from the drive that I had for making sure that this particular sailor was going to get taken care of, because I knew that somebody's life is on the line, essentially, is what it boils down to. So as far as like this month has been a big push for me, as far as like losing weight, getting back into being healthy and stuff like that, because your girl passed her PRT. Yes. So we did that.
I'm so excited for you.
Continuing to make myself better, because I've gotten to a good point and I want to keep going down that path because, you know, I'm trying to grow myself to be a better streamer, to make myself more available for the people that I care about and for people that need me.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing being just taking care of myself and my mental wellness because I've had a rough couple of months last couple of
Mm-hmm.
months. So that's definitely a thing is just getting back on track and making myself just be more okay with me,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Hmm.
Yeah. I think that self-help, like no one's gonna look out for you except for you.
Yep.
That's
Big
the
facts.
biggest, like that's like one of the biggest lessons I've ever learned in
Hmm.
life. Cause you know, we're used to having, well, not like we, but like the idea is that there's someone who's going to be caretaking for you, and then
Yeah.
there's not, you know, you got to
Nope.
listen to yourself and then dial 988 if you need it, you know.
Facts.
um Serious. And that's awesome that you've taken your time. Like honestly, like I'm not saying that like your particular job or rate gets a bad rap, but like
Oh, I
there's
know.
some good one. There's a lot of good
There's
ones and there's a lot of bad ones. And I'm
yeah.
so glad that uh your reputation has always been in the good section.
Yeah. I try to keep it
Vice.
that way.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Because there's no reason to make life any more difficult than it has to be already, you know?
Big facts. Yes.
Yeah. So, well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for hanging out with me on the pod here.
I fucking love it. I love it. I love you, Sean. Thank
You
you so
too,
much for this.
sweetheart.
I appreciate you.
Love
I'll catch
you.
you
Have a good
whenever you
one.
can. You too. Get some sleep. Get some
I
rest.
sure will.
Do all the
Peace,
things.
sweetheart.
Bye, babes.